Thank you for joining us on Coffee With today. My guest is Cindi Miller. And Cindi, I don't really know exactly where we met. I think we met, oh, I do too know. We met through another friend who told me about you, and I had not met you, and then I met you, and I said, oh, I think I know who you are.
Exactly.
And it was just like we were just friends. We just kind
Exactly.
of clicked. And we get to talk frequently because you do some work with the chamber.
I do.
And so I get to see you a lot and talk to you a lot. And we like to talk a lot about shoes.
Yes, we do.
And we're going to be posting a shoe picture we just took a few minutes ago on Facebook. Doesn't have anything to do with Vicksburg Daily News.
No.
But we have to keep up to date on our shoes. But you recently moved to Vicksburg. I mean,
Yes.
I say within the last year or so.
Last June.
And what brought you to Vicksburg, and where did you come from? I know that's not correct grammar, but we know we're from the South. So.
Well, and I will let my grammar pen down for the day.
Okay.
I do have a degree in journalism, so I will put it down.
I feel better already.
I am born and raised in the Chicago area, lived there all my life. And when I was turning 50, I had the opportunity to meet the most wonderful man that's ever come into my life. And I get to live my fairy tale.
And what's his name?
His name is Rick Fine. And he is a contract employee working right now down at Grand Gulf. He's an electrical engineer. And when my son graduated high school last year, Rick asked if I would join him in Vicksburg. And I said I would be happy to. So that's how I got here.
And is he from Illinois as well?
No, Rick is actually from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And when I talk about living the fairy tale, it is one of those one in a million stories. We met online, and I don't advise people to do it. It's a very scary place.
But I've met a lot of people that have met their significant other spouses online, and it's worked
You
out
just have to
great.
be
I mean, it can
cautious.
be unsafe, but it also
Yes.
can work for a lot of people.
Yes, and it has. We've been together now almost 5 years, and I know I want to see my last sunset with him, so it's just, this is our adventure in Vicksburg.
Now, y'all been here a little bit more than a year. Was this your first venture into the South?
This is mine, yes.
Okay.
Rick has been contract-wise as far south as Paducah, parents and stuff in Florida. But I visited Vicksburg when I was, I believe, 10 or 11. I remember going through the military park. That's about all I remember.
Yeah.
And it's totally different to live here. And it's one of the things that I love because, as I've told you, I want to, if I'm going to be here, I want to become entrenched. I want to understand. I want to be a part of it. I don't want to sit on the sidelines. And Karen, our common friend at Terminex, just showed me that first week when I was out job hunting, showed me what the South really was about. And I walked in and I said, you know, I don't know if you're hiring, here's my resume. She, oh, I've been in your position. And started with everybody's got a story, and she told me hers, and she let me share mine. And she said, oh, you've got to meet Robyn. And we just never got hooked up until we were at the cook-off down at the convention
That's
center.
right, for the firefighters.
Yes,
Yes.
it's where we met.
That's right.
And she exhibited, even though I know she's not a native, she exhibited one of the things I like about people down here. When you ask, they ask, how are you? They wait for you to answer. Up north, I think because we're so busy and living our little tunnel vision mice lives, you go, hey, how are you? And we keep on walking. I really love that you can say, how are you? And you wait for someone to tell you how they are that day. So that is one of the things I truly love about down here.
We know that's interesting because Karen is from North Dakota.
Right.
And
She's
she
not
and
native.
Gary are transplants.
Yeah.
But they have really,
They've picked it up.
Oh, they've really fallen into the southern lifestyle. Of course, they're
Right.
big golfers, and that's part of what attracted them to was the climate.
Right. Well, of course, being from Chicago, what I love most is the winter here. I mean, I know it was cold for you guys, and we had a couple little ice storms, but yeah, it was nothing compared
It's
to
great.
what we had up there.
Well, what are some of the other things that you've enjoyed about the South, or what are some other contrasts and comparisons you can make between the South and whatever else there is that's out there besides the South, being a Southerner myself? So.
Right. One of the things that I'm interested in, because this is my first venture and first adventure too with Rick, is it's the first time I get to compare to where I've been. So for me it was different. I don't consider myself a city girl because I was from the suburbs. But to me, this is like rural. This is like, whoa, I'm in the country. I'm used to, you know, I go to the grocery store every day. It was 3 blocks away. There was a stop sign at every corner, too. Walmart, 7.5 miles is not a great distance, but it makes me rethink, causes me to give consideration to the fact that things aren't right around the corner, and scheduling and making it work that way. I think one of the scariest things for me, and where the weather we've had this week really fits in, that there's no tornado sirens here in this area. I'm used to, I don't have to worry about a weather radio, I don't have to worry about that because that siren, which was like 4 blocks from my house, is going to go off.
But you know, we do have an emergency alert system
Absolutely.
that you can program into your cell phone, even
I
if
am
you're
on
in the county.
Code Red,
Yes.
and I love it. And that was one of those things that I learned how to, okay, they don't have what I used to, but it's not that you don't have it. People go, oh, well, what do they do without it? Well, you have other things available to us. And it's just, again, I think working with the chamber gives me a wonderful opportunity to really know what's going on,
Sure.
where I can go for resources. And I love helping the people that call because I've been there just recently.
Right.
And it's really, really nice. Rick and I particularly enjoy fishing. You saw a picture of my fish.
Right. That was a nice size. Did you get it?
It was.
What do you do?
It's being mounted.
Yes.
Yes. It's at the taxidermist as we speak, and that was something else. Now, I know 21 inches and 5 pounds is not huge, but it's my personal best. And I wanted a memory of Calling Panther Lake, which is a phenomenal place if you've never been down there. It's a very unusual bass lake, and they have crappie and other things too, but I wanted a memento of that. So when we caught it, I thought about keeping it, and then I said, no, I can't. Well, it had swallowed the hook, and we put it back in the water, and it wasn't going to make it. And at that point, I said, okay, it's mine.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it home.
Yeah.
So then I find out that taxidermy takes 2 to 4 months. I'm like, it's a fish. I'm like, it's only this big. But I am patiently waiting for the taxidermist to finish it. Learned a lot about that also, something a city girl in Chicago doesn't know anything about. They normally will cast a lot of fish and then paint them, and they're actually skinning mine. So I will actually have my fish.
Well, good. When you get it, you could come back to Coffee With
I'll bring it with.
and bring it.
I would be happy
And
to.
then Chris can embed it in the interview, and so people can see your fish.
Oh, I would love that.
How about that?
I would love it.
Now
Love it.
that is Southern hospitality.
It sure is.
I mean,
Give me
really.
a fish and I get to show it off.
That's right. You know what I think is so funny is that you've been here a little more than a year, and I've been here a good bit longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I call you and say, hey, do you know so-and-so, or how do I get such and such? You have, in so many respects, become my resource person.
Thank you.
And you're not from the South. You're not from Vicksburg. You haven't been here as long. But you have really connected with the people and with this community. You're such a gregarious person. and really Rick is, too.
He
Maybe
is.
not as much as you
Oh,
are.
he
but,
is, yeah.
But he is as well.
Yeah, and it's very, very nice. Like I said, I could sit on the sidelines wherever we went and just, stay at home and take care of the house. There's plenty of ways to do. We have 2 dogs that keep us busy, and but it's important to me I want to experience all these different places, and we don't know where we'll go next or when we'll go, and so it's just kind of nice to learn as much as I can. And I'll tell you, the people down here, yourself, Karen, the gals at the chamber have just been super. Everyone I've met, Laura at Lorelei Books is fantastic. We just really enjoy it. And
It's a great place to live.
it is.
isn't
One of the fun things we do is I have an outdoor book from the chamber.
Right.
And on any given weekend, if we're not fishing that day, I just open it up and kind of go, okay, here. And we get in the truck and we go. And I've taken Rick to some very out-of-the-way spots where the GPS is like, no, you can't go there. But it's fun. Sometimes we take the dogs along. Sometimes we don't. There again, we ended up at Terra Wildlife, which I didn't understand from the brochure was private.
Oh.
And we went in, and me, I walked, hey, is there any way we can look around? We got our dogs, wanted to have a picnic lunch, and they're like, no, it's private. And they were so gracious about it and said, well, we just had a group leave. We can't really have you on the property because of liability. I said, okay. And they said, but if you want to get up on the levee and take the levee out, you can go out the long way.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was very, very kind of them.
Right.
They didn't, then they weren't worried about liability, and they still allowed us to see some of the area, which is
Sure.
what we want to see.
Of course.
Like the alligator that we saw at Calling Panther. You saw that picture too, didn't you?
I think I saw that. I need to go back and look. That's on Facebook,
That's
right?
on Facebook.
I'm going to have to go back and look
Went
at
around
that.
that first cove, and Rick turned off the big motor and put on the trolling motor to go in and start fishing. And I said, oh, honey, look, right there. And it was pretty big. So
How big was it?
its tail is in the water, but I taught Jay, Christy's husband, saw the picture, and he's thinking it was good 8 foot and pretty thick around the neck. So
Did you get up close to it?
I got pretty close, and then it went off the log, and we decided that we'd let it have that coat, and we went somewhere else.
Wow. You know, the lake that I used to water ski in, there were a lot of alligators. And you know what? I mean, I was a kid. I never thought about it. I never thought, oh, the alligator's going to
Oh,
get
see,
me.
that's all like so new for me. It's like alligators. I mean, I know it said no swimming, and we had heard people 2 weeks before go, oh, there's an alligator sunning itself. And I'm like, no, there's really not. And I'm like, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay.
It does kind of take your breath away.
It does. It really does. But how awesome to have all those things cohabitating right there.
Right.
And
Exactly.
they don't bother the boaters, and the boaters don't bother them. So.
Okay, what did I not ask you that you want to talk about? Because I don't want to miss anything.
I think you covered it.
You want to go shoe shopping one day?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We have to do that.
I would love to go shoe shopping. And the next time you brag that you go for a nice lunch, and I'm eating my hard-boiled eggs at the office, I'm going to call you then, too.
Well, anytime we're taping, I usually go and have to get my asparagus bisque and anchuca.
Uh-huh.
So if it's a taping day, chances
I know
are
where to
pretty
find
good. You know where to find me. About
Excellent.
11:30 or 12 o'clock. You'll know where to
Excellent.
find me.
Anchuca's one place I haven't been yet. So.
Oh, then wait and go with me.
All right.
I want to introduce you to Anchuca.
Oh, I would love that.
You have to go. You have to meet Tom. We'll take the little tour of the mansion. We'll eat this spectacular lunch. Please wait and go with
I will
me.
wait for you.
Okay, thank you for coming and having coffee
Thank
with me.
you.
It was good to visit with
All
you.
right.